11th December, Saint Damasus I, Pope. Optional Memoria. Born about the year 305 of Spanish descent, he became a cleric in Rome, and in the year 366, during very troublesome times, he was ordained Bishop of Rome. He called together a number of synods against the heretics and schismatics, and he did much to promote the veneration of martyrs whose tombs he embellished with sacred verse. He died in the year 384. A reading from the treatise by Saint Augustine against Faustus. We celebrate the martyrs by a service of love and companionship. The Christian people throngs the memorial chapels over the tombs of martyrs in religious celebrations. This they do to rouse men to imitate the martyrs, to share in their merits, and to be helped by their prayers. However, we never set up an altar to any martyr, even in the chapels over their tombs. For what priest ever stood at the altar where the bodies of the saints were lying and said, "We offer sacrifice to you, Peter, or to you, Paul, or to you, Cyprian?" The offerings we make are to God, who gave the martyrs the crown in the memorial chapels of those he crowned. Thus the very places remind us of them, and we are moved to a deeper love for those whom we can imitate and for him with whose help that imitation is possible. Thus, in our veneration of the martyrs, we pay them the same respect of love and solidarity as we do in this life to the holy men of God who are prepared in their hearts to suffer for the truth of the gospel. However, we proclaim them victors now in their happier life with greater devotion, with less hesitation after they have been victorious in all their battles, and with more confident praise than if they were still struggling in this life. It is only God whom we worship or think ought to be worshipped with that degree of worship which is called latria, because it is the form of total service due properly to the divinity. It is in this kind of worship that the offering of sacrifice is appropriate. Therefore, to offer this latria to idols is called idolatry, and so we never offer such worship, nor do we teach that it should be offered to any martyr, any holy soul, or any angel. Whoever falls into such an error is rightly reproved by means of sound doctrine, either as a correction or a warning. The saints themselves, as human beings, do not want this worship for themselves, for they know it ought to be given to God alone. You can see this in the case of Paul and Barnabas. The Lycaonians were astonished at the miracles performed by them. They wanted to offer them sacrifices as though they were gods. But the apostles tore their clothes, avowing and trying to persuade them that they were not gods, and forbade them to do this to them. However, what we teach is one thing, what we tolerate another. What we are ordered to teach is one thing, what we are taught to correct another, and until we correct it, we are compelled to put up with it.